today on Spotlight, we have none other than my girl Leonce, all the way from New York City. Hi, Leonce. How you going, darling? You good? You're looking the same like I was here last time. Well, you know, you had on more makeup and you had on a sexy outfit and you was ready to go on stage and all of that. All right? How COVID, for those of you that don't know who Leonce is, you will find out. So just stay tuned. We're going to get into that now. So what COVID doing with you, girl?
Well, we inside a lot, you know, New York, really, and they have us literally locked down. I mean, we go into like the, you know, places like, you know, the mall, you know, food places, stuff like that. But basically we inside a lot. And it's depressing, but all in all, we still get into music. That's a good thing about it.
Yeah. And you missing in action. You're not here.
Girl,
how you feeling about that? Tabanka, you want to just
I feel bad about it, but this time does give us some time to reflect. I mean, as you know, sometimes when the market's so saturated and so cramped in that space of time, like a month or 2 months, it is so hard to try and get out. I mean, as I always say, I try not to say the bigger artists, small artists, but like for us, you know, we had to just try and push through with one. So sometimes it's real difficult. And now seeing that COVID, we have more time to free up and we could release here. We don't have a stipulated time, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I understand. Right now the radio is very open, very breezy. You know, so you're hearing a lot of people, like a lot of artists that you may not necessarily hear from, but you're also hearing a lot of, you know, type of songs that you wouldn't usually hear because it's so saturated. So I totally get you. Get you. So let me ask you, because you have a Trini accent, guys, she is a Trini, but are you more a Trini or a Yankee? Which one you is? Which one?
I just get sometimes. Now if in full conversation, honestly, really and truly, sometimes you may hear me flip in and out. It really does, because I grew up in this country. So sometimes, you know, when it is you're engaging in a conversation with someone that is Trinidad, and you're more or less will relate in that manner. But then, you know, sometimes if I probably go to a store or something, you'll hear it coming out, you know, so I just get real fight out.
So sometimes people talk to you in a different language, like, you know, the accent is different, right? And like, sometimes you gotta, like, you know, just be with everybody else and speak like them, you know, like talk like that, you know.
Got it.
I's a Chinny girl. I's a Chinny. No, but you went to school in Trinidad a little bit, right?
I did. I went to Sacred Heart Girls.
You see?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I went to Sacred Heart Girls. I went. My father had me do the SCA. I was already here, and he had me travel. Do the SCA. Mm-hmm. I passed for transfer girls. And that was a big deal because he wanted me to go to Bishops, and I'm like, I'm not even staying here, so it's a big deal.
And then, okay, so take us through your educational journey in that sense, where you started off in Sacred Heart, you passed common entrance, you came back, you do your, because back then it was common entrance, that SCA, right? You do your common entrance, and then you passed for what is that? St. Francois, and then you migrate.
Yeah.
What happened next?
I stayed here. So then after that, it was just high school. Now, technically, a lot of people don't know this. I am not really from Brooklyn. We represent Brooklyn because this is like very hard to talk. It is my band members. Everybody's from there, but I really live in New Jersey.
For real?
And yeah. And again, I tell you, I was getting fight on girl. I got bougie girl.
Nothing, girl. Take your bougie talk. Your little bougie and shoot. You have on your glasses and your thing. Now, but you okay. So, your introduction into music. I know that your dad was a promoter.
Yes, he was a promoter. He used to do a lot of Philip shows, Spectacular Forum, Philip Review, a lot of different places. So I was always like around Philiptonians, but they don't really know me. They know him.
Right.
You know, so I was always like the little girl running around, the little child running around that nobody really was paying attention to. And I was there for a lot of rehearsals. I was there for a lot of sound checks. So I kind of know the aspect of, you know, being at that, you know, in that venue at that time, you know, the whole environment of music. But then he stopped that. And then after that, he was just focus on me and my brothers going to school. That was like the big thing. We had to make sure and focus on school.
Right.
So when we came, it was all about school. After I did I graduated 5th in my high school, and then I had to go on to college. I graduated out of 300. I graduated 30 something in college. So again, everything is about school. So when I introduce this music thing, as it is say, this music, where you going? Music.
For real?
My father was like, "Oh no, not my daughter."
What? Shocking, because I mean, you've been watching him. It's inevitable.
Exactly, but remember, when it is you have your own now, you know what it entails.
Yeah.
And parents is like that. Nah, I don't want you. Now, even to grow my locks was trust me, was like a big deal. But eventually, when they, when sometimes they have to show and prove to people. So my parents, when they actually see the musical journey and they see that I was on the Soca Monarch semis, I was with All Stars. Yeah, that's my daughter. This is proud.
Okay, don't jump. You have to wait. I'm going to ask you about that. Before you reach All Stars, we have to talk about the request band. How did that happen? You get your Ras, you tell your father, I don't care what you say, daddy. I'm going into music. And request band. The big band in New York.
Yeah, basically. I was introduced to Reza in a party. Somebody kept telling me, my friend was telling me, you could sing, go ahead and do this thing. And I say, I'm skeptical because again, even though I'm in school and I'm finishing up school, I'm trying to finish my degree, I don't know if my father really going to take this on. I have to really go baby steps with him. So I said, let me go to the party. And I met him. When I met him there, he asked to come down and audition. So I said, okay, so you had me do some of your songs. Like that we go to.
Really?
Yes, ma'am. So he had me do some of your songs and he said, okay, cool. He didn't tell me anything. He said, all right, Olia, we have this show to do this Saturday. And on that Saturday, we open to Digicel. And I was like, wait. I was like, stop, wait. I had no musical experience, no band experience. And I said, I don't even know what to do. Like, are you guys sure about this? Like, yeah. And that's how I started off. Ever since then, I never left.
Wow. Well, from that to Roy Cape All Stars, and I would not ask you how you end up in Roy Cape because I don't know that story, and you don't tell everybody how you end up in there already. But what was it like being in Trinidad, performing at Carnival, doing fete after fete after fete? It
was an experience. I really and truly, when it is. I just always tell, people say, well, why she had to get on so? Why he had to get on so? Meaning, some artists, in reference to if we having a social competition, I don't really like how them get on, no. I have to, step back and say, oh, you're really do not know what these artists go through as to why they behave. And when it is, I see how much work and effort and the dedication, the tenaciousness, everything about your job, you have to salute artists like yourself, Marshall, these great artists. If they want bread here on the stage, give them the bread because they deserve it.
That don't always happen, I'm just telling you.
Girl, I know. I see the fight. When I walked into that band room, they wanted me, Juice asked me, the band leader, he said, everybody can do their song. And I nervous there. Said, okay, so you want me to do something? He said, yeah, we're to try now. I said, all right. Now I already kind of, I'm never not prepared. I always prepare myself for anything. So you're just going into the band room. He's like, yeah, do the Nadia. So they play in fact. I was like, okay, stop guys. Let's not do it like that. They just playing it the generic way. And I was like, they can't play like
go girl.
That when you're instructing the band and I guess they saw those levels. I didn't see it at the time. Reza was telling me you was instructing the band and you're telling them what to do. That's a level of, professionalism.
You were destering. I just joking, eh? No, but it's rare that you would find females that take control of their set, of their craft, and say, listen, I don't want to do it like this. And a lot of times it's affiliated with the diva word. when you get a little too aggressive with it, sometimes it's affiliated with the B word, which we can't say on TV, although it's in the dictionary and it's a female dog. I don't know why I can't say it. But I applaud you for being like that. Now, my last question about this whole thing is, being a female soca artist from New York, from overseas, I mean, even though you're a Trini, but you're coming in, you're imported, you're like Lero, you know? You're like lyrical. Have you found that it's been challenging, you know, in terms of respect, in terms of, you know, not just the other artists, but the promoters, the bands, has it been challenging?
Yeah, because, you know, a lot of times when you come from here, you may be well known in the industry, but if people out there don't know you, you know, you get treated in a kind of way. You know, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It could be like, you know, when someone doesn't know you, it's a little bit of a soft approach. Like, you know, I don't really know her. Let me take my time, you know, this kind of way, a kind of baby steps kind of thing. Yeah, it's hard because you also have to come from such a a different world entirely. The mindset of Trinidadians and over here is totally different. So certain things I may do, I just get pulled up a lot. Hey, you can't do that here. Here you can't do that. I'm like, well, why? And they're like, you're not home, you know, you're in Trinidad, you know, and it's different. So sometimes, yeah, you know, we have little tribulations that we go through. The money aspect, you know, trying to really and truly not spend too much. You're going home, that's also an aspect. It's a lot of tribulations that we do go through, but I'll always say again, when it says you love this, it doesn't really see it. It's like, hey, this is what you have to do, this is what you have to do.
Yeah.
You know, and we just go through with it, you know?
It's a very hard industry for a woman.
Yeah.
It's a very hard life for a woman, you know? Right now, you know, I think a lot of these little issues in all genres, whether it's music, whether it's whatever, workplace, it's now coming to light where women work twice as hard, and you have to if you want to be taken seriously. You know, a lot of times people think that, you know, women, sex, you know, that's what we're, you know, no. Because we're trying to be liberated and free-spirited and ambitious, it becomes a problem for a lot of people. But I'm going to tell you to keep reaching, keep doing, and hey, you ain't looking, I ain't seeing your lower half for the people to see your sexy self, but only go and Google my girl Leonce, okay? Could you tell them your handles right now so that they could go and mark your page?
Yes. Leonce RTB, Leonce is a very unfamiliar name. It's one of the only names that I know. Leonce RTB is my band title. I'm on Facebook, Snapchat, I'm on Twitter, everywhere. From the time I reach.
Hey, get them, girl. Get them. Get them. But you're getting on like I'm done with you. I ain't done with you, you know. I ain't done with you, you know. Have a game. A whole game. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. So this game is called, you sure you're ready?
Yeah.
All right. Ready. This game is called word association. Now, I'm going to call 6 words. And when you hear the word, you have to tell me the first thing that comes to your mind. Don't explain the word. It's a dictionary for that. Don't explain the word. But when I say the word, tell me what you think one time in one word. Just say the first thing. I don't care if it sounds stupid. Say what you say the first thing. Right? All right. We go in. Carnival.
Mass.
Panorama.
Fan.
Doubles.
Dan.
Callaloo.
My grandmother.
Addicted.
Sex.
Oh God! Entanglement.
Man.
Papa, you spicy. You little spicy. I hope the All-Stars watching you right now. Right? Because this is an addicted entanglement. Leonce, I want to thank you, my darling. You look beautiful as ever. Looking forward to all the rest of works from you for the rest of the year. I know that you're going to make the most of it. I know you're outside there. We're going to keep touching base with you to make sure you know what's going on out there. You know, and thanks for joining us. I love you, girl. I love you, girl. Oh, yeah, that was Leonce, you know. That was Leonce. Now, Leonce, last year, she sang that song, From the Time We Reach and she was with the All Stars. She was all over the place. Plenty of you all saw her. She has so many fans in Trinidad now, but she was with the Request Band before. In a lot of the early years of my career, I would see them on shows that I was on, so I knew her from since she was, younger.